Hey guys, this week we are talking about what went missing from Vegas, getting multiple rooms comped and more, so stick around.
Welcome to the Crap Vegas podcast.
Vegas, here we come.
Vegas!
Here are your hosts, Chris and Josh.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 85 of the Crap Vegas podcast. I am Chris, he is Josh. Josh, what's new?
Well, what's new is because we're become a baseball themed show after Bobby Bonilla Day.
After Bobby Banana Day, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So in real time, I know this might be a little dated by the time the show runs out, but real time, yesterday was the Home Run Derby. We record this on Tuesdays usually. Yesterday was the Home Run Derby, and I know how big a baseball fan you are.
Oh, huge.
You've
massive,
talked about how much you love baseball. I grew up with, I'm a Seattle kid. I grew up with the Mariners. They've always sucked. And right now, have you followed the Cal Raleigh story? Do you know this at all?
No clue what you're even talking about.
Okay, well, Cal Raleigh, I won't go too long in it because, we don't want to be too baseball-y. Cal Raleigh is the Seattle Mariners catcher.
Okay.
And he's also a switch hitter. And he has the most home runs in the major leagues this year leading up to the All-Star break. So he was selected to be in the Home Run Derby. And long story short, he won the Home Run Derby with his dad pitching to him in the Home Run Derby.
Wow. What
including
a story.
hitting him once.
Whoops.
I know.
Little payback for what happened in the morning or something.
He's just a really cool kind of Seattle story. He fired his agent, Scott Boras, the agent to the stars and baseball players, because he wanted to stay with Seattle and negotiate a long-term contract, but at a lower rate than if he'd become a free agent. And Scott Boras doesn't really do that. So he fired Scott Boras, signed with Seattle for like $100 million less than he could have probably got elsewhere. So it's just a kind of a really heartwarming story.
Wow, my heart is it's all tingly now.
It's all, this episode is about nostalgia. Baseball is nostalgia. We missed the 4th of July. That's nostalgia. Are you a fireworks guy, Chris?
No, God, no. I think it's the dumbest thing in history. I have no desire to
Were you
shoot
ever
off
as a
fireworks.
kid or anything?
Nope, never was as a kid either. Had no interest in it at all. Josh, I am really excited, though, for about 5 or 6 weeks from now, football will start back up. So then we don't have to have any more stupid stories about golf,
baseball, fireworks,
or any of this other stuff that nobody cares about. At least we will have football to talk about.
Lots of people love fireworks. I can't believe it. As a kid, you weren't even a firework guy.
Just never was. Yeah,
my dad would take me out to the Indian reservation where you could get the illegal fireworks.
Ooh, fancy.
And we didn't get the super illegal ones, but it was called the one by our house was called Boom City. And I remember going up there with a buddy, not my dad, but this is probably we were in high school or something. And I'm up there with my buddy, and a lady comes out, and she's probably in her 60s or so, and comes up to us. You guys looking for anything more than Boom City? We pretty much turned tail and ran.
I don't know if that was a pass she was making at you.
I don't know
related.
I don't know what she was offering. Who knows? But
come
we weren't
behind the
interested
tent, and I'll show you your Boom City.
We weren't interested in more than Boom City. Anyway.
No, nothing like that. But everything else is good, Josh. Life is great. I'm enjoying nice weather here. Everything is calm. Still super busy like always, but have a couple days off this week. I'm even thinking about making my first midweek casino trip in probably 10 years.
Oh, wow. So like a quick day trip down to Vegas and back?
No, like a quick trip to my local casino, but on a weekday.
Gotcha.
Pretty much the same thing, right?
Almost the same thing, right? Yeah, exactly. We're a Vegas show, Chris.
Believe me, any other time I would, but I'm actually taking off a couple days next week. My family and I were going on a little mini vacation for a weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And since we're doing that, I feel really bad taking off another day or two this week. It's too much, so just have to pass. Okay, with all that said, Josh, let's tell people how to get a hold of us. You can send us an email. That's podcast@crapvegas.com. You can join us over on our Facebook page. That's crapvegas.com/Facebook. We'd love to chat with you over on Twitter.
X.
He's at Vegas Duffy. I'm at Small Whale 13, or the show page is at Crap Vegas. Or we would absolutely love to have you over on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/crapvegas. There's a 1-week free trial. There's hundreds of hours of entertainment. There's giveaways. There's ad-free shows. I don't know. What else is there, Josh? Everything.
All sorts of fun. There's just fun, nonstop fun.
I mean, it's not even fair. We can't put everything in voice or in writing. It's just so amazing over there.
Exactly. And if you want to see this here show, you can see the unedited version of this show. If you sign up for our top Patreon level, you can hear all our bonus shows, all sorts of fun.
Absolutely. Previous episode feedback. We got an email from our patron, Ben. Ben said, "Hey guys, I have a quick question about video poker since I know you've all been playing more lately. I've always enjoyed video poker and recently started using videopoker.com to practice and improve my skills. Hopefully he went to crapvegas.com/poker before he did that, Josh.
Exactly.
He says, according to the site, I'm playing at about 94 to 95% of my hands correctly, so I know that there's room for improvement. Are y'all able to play your hands perfectly now, or do you know what percentage you're getting right? I realize that accuracy really affects your payout, how long your bankroll lasts, and the game's variance. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any tips you might have. Thanks for the great podcast. I really appreciate what you're doing, Ben.
Ben, great question. Appreciate that you're using videopoker.com since they're sponsoring us. And it's a really, I'm one of those people, Chris, I don't know about you, but like as a personality type, like I'll play the thing fanatically to try and get as close to 100% accuracy as I can. Yeah. That's just how I'm not satisfied if I'm at 95% or 94%. That said, with Ultimate X, it's really hard because your correct move can vary slightly depending on the multipliers involved. And I'm still learning. I've got a pretty good sense of it, but I tend to be around 99.5%. I've gotten myself pretty darn accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing far better than me. I mean, if I can get to 95, I would be really excited. But then again, I play video poker in the way that like a crap degen would. You know, if there is any chance at a royal being drawn, I will give up that pat hand that I was going to win on just for the chance of something big. So yeah, my statistics are probably lower than they should be. But yeah, I shoot for like 95, 96. And then I think to myself, gosh, if I was sitting down at a blackjack table 15 years ago and I only played with 95% accuracy of basic strategy, I would be getting my ass handed to me.
Right.
So I really do need to improve that number.
Yes, you do. Both of you guys do. Ben, you do. Chris does.
What are we doing?
Get that up to 99%. You can
thank God I pay that $10 a month so that I can actually get the training.
So what I did, if it's helpful, I actually went to Wizard of Odds, found the correct plays for the games I wanted to play, printed that out, color coded it, tried to kind of learn it. So then when I'm actually playing on videopoker.com, I don't even look at the sheet, but I've kind of already got that in my head.
Gotcha.
So I'm a nerd that way.
Well, Josh, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's kind of how it is with me when it comes to doing the right thing.
That's true.
We also received an email from Sarah. Sarah said your discussion of some basic credit-related questions was very helpful last week. One thing I didn't hear addressed that I've always been curious about is making partial payments. Before I leave the casino for the trip, can I make a partial payment towards my markers, or does it need to be in full payments only? There are a lot of times that I have a little extra cash that I would be glad to just apply to my account, but wouldn't be enough to pay off a full marker. Thanks for your help and love the show, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Really good question. Also, yes, you absolutely can make partial payments. The casino will be happy to have you take partial payments. Usually, well, I shouldn't say usually. Oftentimes what happens is you can make a partial payment up to, the amount that you have out in total markers. You can pay off individual markers themselves. So let's say you owe $9,000 and it was made up of a $5,000 marker and a $4,000 marker. You could pay off just the 4, for example, and leave the 5 outstanding. But you can also pay off just chunks, and they'll do different things. Sometimes they'll just take it as a deposit. Sometimes they will issue you a new marker. So they'll tear up let's say you're paying off the 4,000 or you have 2,000. They'll give you the 4,000. They'll tear up the 4,000, issue you a new marker for 2,000 if you give them 2,000 in cash. That kind of thing. So there's different ways that you can do it. Paying it off in part is great. It helps you, have less that you have to pay when you get home, that kind of thing. Anything else, Chris?
No, I think you hit the key things there, Josh. I make partial payments all the time when I'm leaving. If I have some extra cash, I just want to throw their way. You're right that every property handles it differently. If you're paying less than a full marker, a lot of places will want you to sign a new marker for the amount that you've paid it down to, and then they can tear up the old one. That happens, but most of your bigger properties like Wynn, Venetian Palazzo and stuff, they'll gladly just take a payment on deposit, and whenever they cut your statement, they'll just apply any payments that you've made towards the balance due. The only thing to keep in mind, though, is if that happens, and if you make a partial payment and they don't have you sign a new marker, they now cannot deposit those markers that they have automatically.
That's true. You're right.
That can be a big issue for some people. So if you had, say, a $5,000 marker and a $3,000 marker, you owed $8,000, and right before you left, you gave them $1,000. They're going to send you a statement for $7,000 because that's how much you owe them. But you can't just say deposit the markers themselves, deposit those checks. And they'll tell you, we can't because you don't owe us that much. So what you will have to do is they'll either deposit the biggest one and then you can write them a check for the difference or send them a wire for the difference. But just keep in mind then if you make a partial payment and don't sign a new marker, they can't just automatically deposit those at the end.
Yeah. Something that's happened to me, Chris, is I think it was at Venetian Palazzo, was I went to make a partial payment on my markers at, let's say, Palazzo, and went over to Venetian to pay off the rest of the markers. I must have had some big win or something. And they said I owed still the full amount. They hadn't reconciled between the two because I had done it on paper at one place. And just keep an eye on that. If you have a property like that, Wynn and Encore might be the same thing, that kind of thing, where you pay off part at one cage and then you go to a different cage. Just keep track of it. Might take a little bit for their systems to sync up or that kind of thing.
Yeah. And in general, I think we've talked about this before, and my thought on this has changed a little bit over time, more to come in line with your beliefs, Josh. I do think it's best to hold off to the very end of the trip before you start repaying markers. I used to be somebody that did it throughout the trip.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. I think it's much easier and actually better for you to wait to the end and then pay back anything you want to pay back. Do it all in one fell swoop at the very end of your trip. But doing partial payments along the way and stuff, they may actually not like you doing that, making a partial payment like in the middle of your trip that they have to put against your account, stuff like that. I would just stay away from it. Just take care of everything right before you leave, make any payments you want to make, and then take care of the rest when you get home.
Yeah, it just gets clunky when you're doing it mid-trip, going back and forth. I mean, if you're like me, you might tend to forget, did I pay off one? What do I have out? Yeah.
Well, not to mention, Josh, I think it's in your favor if you ever want to increase your credit line too.
Right.
Because they would much rather see somebody that drew the full amount of their credit line and then paid it back when they left, rather than somebody that just takes $5,000 and pays it back an hour later and then takes $3,000, pays it back an hour later. It looks like you're not utilizing the full line because part of their reporting will tell them how much of your credit line you've utilized.
Right.
And it looks much better if you've taken the whole thing, just put the extra chips in your pocket as you're going and just pay it all back when you leave.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, we finally, to end the week on the feedback side, got an email from dealer Rick over at Wynn.
Yay.
Rick said, if you're at a slot machine and need to leave for a bathroom break or even make a bet at a sports book, you can turn your service light on for an attendant and they will stand by your machine for a few minutes until you get back. And Josh, not every place will do this.
I know. I was thinking, I wonder if that's every place. I mean, I can see Wynn doing it, right?
Wynn absolutely will. And I can't tell you how many times I've been waiting for a hand pay on the main floor and seeing a slot attendant right next to me at the machine next to me. And they're like, I will be with you in just a minute. I'm watching this person's machine. And they have to wait for the person to come back.
I didn't know that
and
was
then
a
they
thing.
can come help me. At Wynn, they absolutely will do that. Main floor, high limit, hit the button, and they will come watch your money and make sure nobody takes your machine. Other places,
really
your
cool.
mileage may vary.
Well, Rick, thanks for the tip. I had no idea that was a deal. We're going to have to try it at different places.
Oh, yeah. Try it at Circus.
Try it at
and see what
Excalibur,
happens.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, the tricky part will be how long will you be able to hold it before you have to go to the bathroom by the time
you might wait 30, 40 minutes by the time you get help. Okay, Rick continues. Also, regarding the show after you guys visited, sorry, Chris, I didn't hug you. Next time, I will give you a big kiss and a hug.
Oh.
Just with that, you'll be back sooner. So, Josh, I'm already better than you. He did say, though, could you tell your listeners that all dealers at Wynn would like to thank them for acknowledging us and acknowledging you guys on the show? It really makes for easy conversation when they walk up to the table and mention that. Like always, Chris, you're the best, and keep spinning the wheel because Josh's chuckle is priceless. Love the show. And most important part, Josh, can't wait to be on your 100th show. Oh, did I just invite myself, Rick? So I guess we now have a guest for our 100th show.
We have a guest lined up, right?
Yeah, a
so
real
Rick, you
Vegas
can't
dealer
leave.
at Wynn. I mean, he's just as much of an asshole as you would imagine. I mean, he'll be perfect.
But I do hear that the dealers at Wynn, particularly Wynn, get a real kick out of our listeners coming up and say they heard about us on the show, and that's kind of fun. Yeah.
It's pretty consistent there from what I've been told, and they really do appreciate. Yeah, so go ahead, say hi, introduce yourself, tell them you're a listener of our show. If you don't know who Rick is, just ask the dealers in the morning. They'll point you his way, and he'll think he's the most important person in the world.
And both
his head's
Rick
already
and
pretty
Jay
big, so.
will talk crap to you, and I don't mean talk craps. I mean they'll talk crap to you.
No, just crap to you. They'll tell
Yeah,
you. What
Liz
a
will probably talk a
person
little
you are.
crap. They're the genuinely nice ones. Liz, Jay, and Rick are not really genuinely nice.
Well, Liz is. Don't throw Liz into that mix. She's extremely nice. Okay, Josh, let's keep it going. Okay, so Vegas is an ever-changing landscape, and it feels like every year something disappears that I remember fondly from my first days as a tourist. So I thought it would be fun to recap some of the favorite things now gone from Vegas that we would like to see brought back. And that could be restaurants, shows, attractions, features of properties, anything that is now missing, but that you would like to see make a comeback.
So I have a question, Chris. Is this going to be a Festivus? Is this an airing of grievances?
Is this an airing of grievances? It's not that time of year, but there are so many things that have disappeared from Vegas.
It's true.
That I hate that they're gone. I would love to see come back. We put this question out on our social media today and got some responses on there as well. And I know you have a list, Josh. So we got plenty of things to run through here.
Oh, we sure do. And I'm excited. It doesn't have to be an airing of grievances, but there are some things we just, we get older, we get nostalgic, and Vegas changes. And I mean,
It does. For
everybody
better or for
says
worse.
if you like something in Vegas, give it a little while because it'll be gone, or vice versa. But there are some things that we remember fondly and wish they'd come back.
Okay, so let's start off with some of the things that we saw from over on Twitter and get your feedback on this one, Josh. First, started off, Adam said the Bally's entrance, no shops, just a unique long entrance to the casino. Commercialization killed the vibe.
I saw Adam's reply to your tweet, and I hadn't thought of the Bally's entrance, but that is something that is just the whatever thing they created, the huts out there and all that stuff, really kind of destroyed. I mean, I understand. Bally's suffered from being way back off the strip, kind of like Bellagio does in a way. It was
kind of, yeah.
It was, but they at least had the escalator and moving sidewalk things to get there. But that was really iconic and did make it special. And they've just kind of, Caesar's Palace to a certain extent has done the same thing, kind of junked up the front of what used to be a really fun property. They had the fountain up there and all the open space, and now they've put whatever the restaurant is that's Hell's Kitchen there now, and kind of the same thing.
I mean, it's been so long, but I seem to remember when I was younger and first coming to Vegas, there used to be like a monorail sign and like a little thing that you'd walk under and you'd head into Bally's. And
there was all that. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't all the restaurants and stores. Now, I can give it a pass. When Blue Ribbon Fried Chicken was there, I could give it a pass because it was just so good. But now that it's been closed for, I don't know, 5 years, maybe a little bit more than that. No, it doesn't get a pass anymore. All that junk in front needs to go. Make it a true casino entrance that's exciting. Create something unique, but I don't need to see another candy store or a pizza place charging $40 a slice,
Well, I don't think it's changing because they just opened Old Red or whatever it is. They've got all sorts of new stuff out there. But I agree, Adam.
Okay. Lucky Traveling said the Popeye statue by Jeff Koons over at Wynn.
I have no idea what that even is.
So I had to look it up because I feel like I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I ever saw it. So what it was is Steve Wynn back in 2014 spent $28 million on a statue of Popeye by this artist, Jeff Koons. And so he bought
Popeye the spinach guy?
Yep, Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah, him and Olive Oil, the whole crew, Josh.
Right.
And what ended actually happening to the statue is in 2019, when Encore Boston Harbor opened, they moved the statue up there. I assume it's still there. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Steve Wynn took it with him when his downfall happened. So I don't have a personal connection to the statue. I never actually saw it. I did look at a picture of it today. It looked pretty cool. I can't believe he spent $28 million on it, but that kind of fits with Wynn's MO.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a message from John. John said, the Chandelier at Cosmo used to have live music, Rat Pack, 8+ instrument bands and singers. Now it's just a vapid mess. And this was a consistent comment I saw from a lot of people in general, just about live music in Vegas, which seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, you had, I'm thinking, as we're talking about it, there used to be live music, I think at the entrance to Harrah's, obviously in the Carnival Court thing, there was live music.
Yep.
There was a piano bar right there, or a dueling piano bar. I'm thinking of in Paris, there's a stage that used to have a lot more live music. I think
Planet Hollywood used to have a lot of music right at that bar when you first walked in off the strip.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Cromwell when they used to have a live violinist playing over a DJ set every weekend in the exact same order so that I memorized it, exactly the order he was going to go in. I mean, there used to be so much really good live music to keep things interesting. And he's right. A lot of that stuff has disappeared. I mean, I guess Bellagio still has, the Petrosian bar?
Yeah.
So yeah, Josh, I just think in general, a lot of that live entertainment, it's cost-cutting measures. I get it, but I would love to see some of that come back.
Me too.
A couple other listeners talked about dealer-tainers and just entertainment in the pits in general.
Yeah. I mean, that was one back, and I actually had on my list Imperial Palace, talking about the dealer-tainers. Dealer-tainers, that was a lot of fun. I remember, I was going to say as a kid going to Vegas, but as a 20-year-old,
As a 13-year-old,
right?
yeah.
As a 21-year-old, 22, mid 20-year-old, I used to think that was really cool seeing the dealers up there or the dealer-tainers. It just made the whole thing fun.
Yeah, and I think it will hit a bigger issue we're going to talk about in a minute. Josh, this one was for you. Somebody said the Star Trek experience over at Westgate.
I have that on my list too. And even though I can't miss it because I never actually saw it when it was there, but I wish it were back because I would like to go. I every time I go to the Star Trek convention, which I am going again this year, I miss the experience. It used to be at the Star Trek experience at Westgate, and I would love to have, as a Star Trek fan, I wish I could have seen it then.
Okay. A common theme, Josh, were some shows that are now gone. A lot of people mentioned the Beatles Love Show.
Okay. I would like to have seen it. I never saw it. Did you?
I did not. Then again, I never wanted to see it, but maybe now that it's gone, I'm regretting that decision.
Nostalgia, right?
Yeah, I want to go back and see.
I've never been. I like the Beatles, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge Beatles guy.
I mean, I like the Beatles too. I don't know if I'd want to see the all that Beatles music in the show.
I mean,
just
I think
as I like Michael Jackson, but I didn't want to see the MJ show either.
Right. I think it's probably bad that my favorite Beatles song is "Obla Dee, Obla Da."
Yeah, it is.
Because I think most Beatles fans think that's not a good Beatles song.
Now, let me ask you this, Josh. If you had to pick one show that's gone, that you are very sad it's gone, I bet you and I have the exact same choice.
Sad it's gone.
If you could bring one back tomorrow, what show would you bring back?
Well, I don't think we're going to be on the same page here because this is actually on my list, but it's Celine.
Interesting. Okay, that is not what I thought you were going to say.
So I want to know what you were going to say.
I guess I wasn't thinking along the line of residencies.
Okay.
I was thinking more of like actual.
Oh well,
stage
I
shows.
know where you're thinking. I've now met your mind. We've had a meeting of the minds. It's Zumanity.
It absolutely is. Yeah, bring back Zumanity. New York had a great little location there for it. I like the stage. I like the setup. I like the acts. It was just enough on the edge of like, some like sexy raunchiness to be a really entertaining show, but also super talented people.
Speaking of live music back then.
Well, at the beginning they had live music.
Yeah.
Towards the end I saw it again and it didn't have live music, and that was very disappointing. But yeah, I would love to see that show come back, and other shows, at least in my eyes. I wish we could bring back one of like the more traditional classic magic shows in Vegas.
Yes.
So I'm thinking like,
I was thinking about that
obviously people have died, but Siegfried and Roy sort of show, Lance Burton, just true, engaging magic shows like that.
I agree. And, as we're talking about coming back to the live music thing, I mean, the Cirque du Soleil got rid of a lot of their live music. There's so many of, I mean, that was one of the things about Zombie Burlesque. At least it had live music.
It did. Yeah.
That
was a nice touch.
Oh, yeah. And I think
for a $40 ticket or whatever.
Right. But I missed that in those shows. But you're right about Zumanity. Zumanity was fantastic. But no, I said Celine because she was, just a staple of Las Vegas. And so many people like being able to come. I mean, now that we have all these short residencies, I get it from a, marketing and ticketing perspective and things. But just to know you could go to Caesars or go to Vegas and you could, or your mom could, or whoever, go and see Celine. She was just kind of a staple.
No, I mean, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. And we've talked about how excited I was that Dolly is coming to Caesars.
Yes.
But at the same time, when you're only doing, 8 shows?
Six
shows?
Something like, yeah.
That's not a residency. That's
right.
2 weekends you happen to book there, but it's not a residency.
Right.
I agree with you. When I think residency, I think multi-month on-site, 6 or 7 shows a week, 5 days, whatever it may be. That's a residency.
Yeah.
We got a message from Dave saying he really misses the MGM Grand Adventures, especially the log ride, which was his favorite. Oh, and walking through the Lion's Head on the way to follow the yellow brick road at MGM.
Yeah, I remember the MGM Grand was the first place I ever stayed. I don't remember the rides. This was 1990, probably 6 that I was there. But I do remember going through the Lion's Head and just being kind of blown away by the yellow brick road and the huge vastness of that space. And yeah.
I have a list of some other things that I put down, Josh, that I didn't necessarily see from others, but I think a lot of people probably agree with me. But the big takeaway, before I even mention some of these things are, it's all the nostalgia, like of when I first went to Vegas 20 years ago.
Right.
That's what for you, it's like 50 years ago, and I understand.
Yeah,
so we're coming at this from different times. But, I think of all these things like when I first went, and I just want to recapture that feeling that I can't capture anymore. And I'm sure that's why some of these things are on there. But for me, a couple of my things I would list off. One, neon signs. Like, I really wish all that neon still exists. I mean, yes, you can go to the Neon Museum and see a lot of these signs. I want to see them actually at the properties out front.
Yeah, and when you think about the skyline of the Vegas Strip or what you see at night, it's just not the same. I mean,
It's
you look
not.
at like Aria or even Bellagio or Wynn or, they're beautiful properties, but there's not kind of that gaudy glitz that the neon represented, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I think of it the same way as when we're talking about downtown on Fremont Street. I miss the days before the canopy existed. I
Mhm.
thought it looked far better before without the canopy. I understand why they built it, but at the
Right.
same time, I still think it needs to go.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
How about loss leaders? It seems like those have been gone for a very long time.
Well, I
The
have one
days
on my
of-
list specifically. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm thinking the days of the super cheap food where you can
Uh-huh.
get a $1 shrimp cocktail all the time, cheap tickets, anything to get you to Vegas for cheap,
Right.
and
right.
then hit you for as much as they can. But those loss leaders, they don't exist anymore. The food's expensive, the shows are expensive. It's just there is no saving grace anymore.
And if you don't know what a loss leader is, Chris kind of covered it, but it's something that loses money to get you in the door, to get you to the
a
property.
$2.99
right.
buffet that it's going to
Right.
cost them $20 to have you go through that buffet, but it's worth it to get you on property.
So, Chris, I have a buffet and a specific buffet on my list. Do we have a meeting of the minds here as well?
Without knowing, Josh, I'm going to say you're talking about the Spice Market buffet over
That
at
is
Planet
the one
Hollywood.
I'm talking about. I used to,
Yeah.
oh man, did I love that place.
I did too. I love the location of it. I love that you had to take an escalator down to get to it. It's right
Yeah.
off the main floor. It was a great little space. If you had a diamond or a 7-star card, they had a separate seating area for you so that you could always get a table. Just
It
awesome.
was awesome. I remember I used to go so often, like the hostesses knew my name, or knew me. And
Wow.
welcome back,
I don't
sir.
think I
Yeah.
ever got to that point, but good for you. Josh, what about theming in general when we're talking about nostalgia? Like I'm thinking the original design and layout of Luxor and Excalibur and, like when they used to have Nile River rides running through the middle of the property. I miss all that stuff. We've been on a constant streak of de-theming over the past 20 years
Yeah.
or anything that brought character to the property. I mean, it used to be at places like Excalibur, they would have like castle-themed pits for table games and stuff. All that stuff is now gone.
Yeah, I know. I miss it too. It made it special. It made it part of I remember taking, you either love the artificialness of Vegas or you don't. And
Yes.
hopefully if you're listening to this show, you do. And that was one of the things that made it just over the top artificial was this
Yeah.
theming.
No, I agree with you 100%. I put the original Cromwell on my list of things that I miss.
As in Barbary Coast
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
or Sam's Gambling, whatever it is.
Yes, it's had many
Wild
iterations
Bills.
over year, but I'm talking about at least when Cromwell first opened their doors, Josh. I mean, you had the best gambling rules in
Mhm.
town on the strip. All blackjack was 3-2. The roulette was 0-0. They had
Right.
100 times odds for craps. They had really cheap food up front at Eat Well that was open 24/7.
Right.
They had free coffee on their hotel floors for their guests staying there. They really went out of their way when you checked in to have a unique experience, that cool little area that they have for a check-in desk, and they would walk you to the elevators and make sure everything's good. They had, the backgammon or chessboards in
Mhm.
your room with pieces. Just all that stuff was really unique, and it's all completely gone.
Yeah, we haven't talked, and it's not a needle mover for me, but it's worth mentioning that the changing of the odds, and I'm not really nostalgic for 3-2 blackjack or 0-0 roulette or 100 times odds on craps tables, but it was a fun idea. And this is where the Cromwell, where Cromwell comes in. It was a fun idea that you could get those games if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, and it didn't really cost them that much at the end of the
Yeah.
day. The average player was never taking 100 times odds at craps.
Right.
They just weren't. Maybe they were
Right.
taking 3, 4, 5, but they weren't taking 100. For the roulette stuff, I get it. It's going to help the player a little bit. The blackjack, most of their players weren't playing basic strategy anyways. It's just,
Yeah.
it's frustrating because at least it was something that made that property extremely unique, and then they just ripped it away.
Kind of along those same lines, kind of ties in. I have on my list Casino Royale, and
Mhm.
not just obviously Casino Royale is still there, but Casino Royale, when I first started going to Vegas, so this is, late 90s, early 2000s, not only did Casino Royale have table games, which went away during COVID, they had table
Yeah.
games that were ultra cheap. They had a
Yeah.
craps tub, first of all, which was fantastic, but they had $2 craps, they had 25-cent roulette, and you could find that regularly. Like, it wasn't one of those things where you had to play $2 craps at 10 o'clock in the morning. You could find $2 craps all the time. The table was full a lot of the time, but
I'm sure.
that way, that was how I broke into gambling in Vegas was, a $200 bankroll was huge.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
could sit
No,
there
it
and
could
play
last a
$2
long time.
craps forever. It was a lot of fun. And I understand Vegas has changed as a business model, but we're just talking about nostalgia, and I miss that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. What about some shows, Josh, like the Pirate Show over at TI, the Volcano at Mirage, all those kind of iconic things when you're going down the Vegas Strip that are now completely gone?
Yeah, it's been kind of cityfied. It's been, a lot of those fun things are gone. I was thinking about, you may have this on your list, but I was thinking about the old Aladdin, which has become Planet Hollywood, with the kind of the theming of the exterior of the property, that whole idea.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it goes back to what we talked about with like Luxor and Excalibur and all that theming stuff. Josh, I miss the Toll House cookies and Planet Hollywood's Miracle Mile
I didn't
shops.
have that on my list, but I missed that too. Yes.
Really miss it. I wish they would bring that back. It reminds me of better days at Planet Hollywood.
Yeah. One thing I have, Chris, is, and this was such a fun thing for souvenir, was I missed the dollar coins.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a big fan of, coin operated slot machines are really dirty and your hands would just get filthy. But I loved collecting those dollar coins. I understand you can still collect dollar chips and stuff, but having a physical coin just felt different. And it was neat to see how each casino branded them and that kind of thing. And I missed the feel of a dollar coin.
Maybe it's a little weird. I don't think we've ever talked about this before. But do you find it strange that most Vegas properties don't have $2.50 chips when almost every regional property across the country does?
I haven't thought about it, but good question.
As somebody that grew up playing a lot of blackjack, obviously, and spent a lot of time at tables, every regional property you go to has $2.50 chips, mostly for blackjack, so that when you hit, a $15 blackjack, they can pay you $22.50, and they can make it really easy to do so. For some reason in Vegas, though, it's very rare to see a $2.50 chip.
Yeah,
you usually pay it with $2 chips and have the 50-cent coins on the table.
Right.
I don't understand why. I wish somebody would tell me why, because I only see that in Vegas.
Maybe Rick or Jay know.
Oh, maybe they do. They've been around long enough.
Yeah.
They could let us know. But it is just kind of strange, I always thought, to see the 50-cent coins on the table when there are $2.50 chips everywhere else.
Right.
And lastly, Josh, the only thing else that I said that I really wish I could bring back, but there's no way to do it, is just the sheer feeling from my first trip or two to Vegas. I remember it so vividly. I remember how overwhelmed I was when I first walked into the property and I didn't know where anything was, or, I didn't know that slot machines are here and table games are over here. And the first time I found out they're open 24/7 and I can walk down and play and they'll serve me alcohol 24/7. And the first time I got my first comp room and, the $20 trick and I got upgraded to a suite that I sure as hell didn't deserve at that time. All those feelings I can't recapture anymore. But I really, really miss those days.
Never forget your first time.
No, you don't, especially when it comes to Vegas.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, for me, I was thinking about that first time I said was at MGM Grand, and I remember seeing it and just being blown away by it. And one thing, talking about nostalgia, something I miss, and this is of my own making to a certain extent, I miss the kind of not being tethered to properties and worrying about comps and all. It was so much fun. I get that there's value in players' cards and all that kind of stuff, but back before that, it was fun to just roam the strip and go wherever we wanted to go. And
well, I mean, it wasn't as big of a deal back then as well, because all those properties weren't tied together like they are today.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, back then, it would be common, at least I remember when I first started gambling in Vegas, I mean, you would have 25 players' cards in your pocket at any given time because every single property had their own player's card. Yeah. There wasn't just have an MGM player's card. There was a Luxor player's card, an Excalibur player's card. And you had one for every property. And none of these places were hooked together like that. So it was a different time. And now with everything being connected and, the way that we play, we would be doing ourselves a pretty big disservice to just randomly play for 10 minutes on a card somewhere.
Right.
Because literally you're talking about thousands of dollars that you could be giving away by doing so. But you're right. I really do miss the days of not having to worry about, do I want to walk up and down the strip and play a little here and play a little there? And we just don't do that anymore.
Right.
Josh, I'm sure all our listeners are going to have a bunch of other stuff to add, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in our feedback next episode. But after the break, we'll answer a couple of our own listener questions, spin the big wheel, and more. So stick around. Josh, VideoPoker.com is now an official sponsor of the Crap Vegas podcast. For those that aren't familiar, VideoPoker.com is the ultimate destination for video poker players. With paid memberships, you get exclusive training tools, real-time feedback on the plays that you're making, the most popular game variations out there. Whether you're trying to fine-tune your strategy or just take your game to the next level, VideoPoker.com has you covered.
you've heard Chris and I talk about it before this even came about. We love it for training. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm on it almost every day trying to train myself on stupid Ultimate
I
X.
have been too recently.
Exactly.
It's really cool because it will tell you, like, you've made the right decision on 87 out of 100 hands.
Right.
And it tells you exactly what you should have done if you make a mistake when you're making your choices. It keeps all that information historically for you so you can kind of go back and see how things are going. Josh, it's just a really good tool if you're going to be a serious video poker player. And as I start to get into it more, I feel like if I'm going to do this, it's like blackjack basic strategy. I need to know the best play so I can eliminate the house edge as much as possible.
That is exactly right. I've been doing it almost nonstop on 3-line Ultimate X, and you can choose when you're going in and configuring your games. You can say, I want to play Ultimate X, I want to play double. I'm playing in a machine that's going to give me 9-5 or 8-5
you can
or
choose
whatever
the
it
pay
is.
table that you
Right,
want.
all that stuff.
Yeah, you can choose all that stuff. It is 100% customizable once you get into the paid higher levels of the plans. And even if you don't want to pay for it, I understand that. They have a free membership. You got to watch a couple ads before you get into the game. Still worthwhile doing at the beginning, and maybe you'll see, okay, this is something I like, so I want to upgrade. But either way, if you're ready to play over there, we'd love for you to go over to crapvegas.com/poker to get signed up. Start improving your edge today and get on over there.
That's right. That's crapvegas.com/poker.
Josh, Zorkfest 2025, tell me all about it.
Well, I've been told it's just the right amount of loyalty and comps. Did you know that?
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Just the perfect right amount.
That's right.
Anyway, Zorkfest is coming up. It's going to be at the M Resort this year, which I'm super excited to go to. I've never been to M, so I'm excited to stay there, play there. It's going to be December 5th through the 7th, 2025. Really fun weekend. One thing I did want to mention, there's still some tickets available for Coffee Dice, which I believe is going to be Sunday morning. So get your tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. Coffee Dice is always one of the big hits of the event. We had 2 tables last year, so go ahead and get those tickets. And then we're going to have a Friday night reserve craps table for our patrons too. So, and those tickets I think will go on. They're not going to be on sale, but they're just be available, I think, August 1st-ish or so. But get tickets for Coffee Dice because that is filling up. Really excited for Zorkfest. Hope to see everybody there. We'll have some surprise guests. Who knows who might show up?
Ooh, so if you want to get on over there, get signed up, get your tickets and all that good stuff taken care of, head on over to zorkfest.com. That's ZORKFEST.com. Listener questions. We got an email from Andrew. Andrew said, hey guys, love the show. Thank you. You mentioned your room comps at the properties, but I'm wondering about getting 2 rooms comp per trip. Is that a common thing? I ask as I'm trying to decide which property I want to make a commitment to. And a big part of that is wanting a room for my wife and I, as well as a room for another couple to join. I'm the only big gambler of the group of friends, and in order to get my wife and another couple to be willing to make more trips per year, I'd love to have 2 rooms comped. I'm a $5,000 per trip player, but I can go up to $10,000 per trip if that helps my wishes, mostly at tables. Also, I have an upcoming trip to VP to see Backstreet Boys with some friends. Lucky him. That would be so much fun. Have you seen the videos, Josh?
Oh, yeah, I've seen the videos.
Like I've seen Backstreet Boys in Vegas
before. The stage
before.
going up, and yeah.
It looks really cool. I'm not like the biggest Backstreet Boys fan,
right?
But I really did enjoy their show last time that I went, and I can't even imagine how much more fun it would be to see him in the Sphere. So hopefully you and I can get there for something.
Yeah, I hear Justin Timberlake's really good in it.
Oh, is he? He's not part of the band, but does he like hang out in the background or something? Like wave at people?
I was just wondering what you would say to that.
Oh, geez. He said, I have no player's card or history at the Wynn, but my wife loves the Wynn. If I simply get a player's card and initiate a relationship, would I see a room comp offer come in the mail afterwards? Again, a selfish question with the goal of getting my wife to go out shortly after our VP trip. Kind regards, Andrew. So, Josh, let's start off with having multiple comped rooms. Can we do it?
You can definitely do it. I've never done it. But I know that, for instance, Diamond at Venetian.
Well, stop there. You have done it. You just haven't done it at a single property.
Right. Well, I was going to get there. Yes.
Okay.
If we're talking about, right. If we're talking about getting, and this actually came up with my wife recently. If you're talking about having a friend go with you and stay at the same property and getting comped at that property, you have to kind of do it officially because there's no way to sneak it in that sense.
Yeah.
And I know what I was going to say is that like at Venetian Palazzo, I think Diamond level, you get entourage suite availability, which I assume is the same thing. You could book 2 rooms. So at a certain level, and it could be there's a certain level of play or maybe a certain level of status within their players, their reward system, you can have that available to you. But I think it's going to vary by property, by space available. I would assume that It's going to be harder to get 2 rooms than it is 1. But definitely higher level players get them fairly often for their
Yes.
entourages and that kind of thing.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I've never asked for a second room. There's never been a reason for me to do so. I have no doubt at VP or Wynn, I should be able to get a second suite.
Right.
Now, it's not going to be on the tower suite side.
Right.
I might not have a lot of choice about like room type or configuration or anything, but I feel very confident that I could get a second room at either of those properties without even hesitation.
Yeah. Now, to Chris's other point, you can definitely, if you have comps at multiple properties, book a room under your name at multiple properties and try and give them some play, obviously, at both properties, unless you want to burn one, that kind of thing. But if you have offers at multiple properties, property groups, then you can always go that way too. And that was the conversation I had with my wife. She's like, so-and-so wants to come to Vegas the same time we do. Can you get him a room? I said, well, I probably can't get him a room at the same place, although maybe I could the way we're talking about it, but I could definitely get a room at another property.
Yeah, and I am thinking, Josh, it's almost impossible to lose your free rooms at Caesars.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what you'd have to do to lose
I'm going to
them.
try soon
So
to see if I can lose them.
So I am thinking, if I was going to stay at Wynn, I would just try to get him a room, at one of the Caesars properties on that side of the street. I just book another room for myself, check in. You can do mobile check-in most of the time nowadays, which makes it even easier.
Right.
Yeah, just give them your keys and you need to make sure you trust them because they can charge to your room or damage the room or anything like that. But I don't see any reason not to at that point.
Yeah.
And Josh, what about the second part of his question? If he has no history at Wynn, if he gets a player's card, should he expect a room comp offer to come shortly after his trip?
I don't know how. I think Wynn updates their offers, or are they quarterly or monthly? They're quarterly, right?
I find it's kind of somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Chris
every
and
2 to 3 months, you randomly see an offer come across.
And it's different. Like, it's not, Chris and I don't get our offers the same day. We
don't.
He'll get something and then it'll be a week before I see it. Unlike MGM, where they tend to all roll out
always on the
exact
first
same time. Right. So I don't know how quickly Wynn will move, but if your play is at the level that would get you a comp room, then it'll come pretty soon. And you could even reach out to a host, soon
no
after
reason
your
you
first.
couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, they can see your rated play and determine if they want to give you a free room or not. But keep in mind, Wynn's going to be the last place that you're going to earn a free room. So, if your play level determines that you should get one, they will give it to you. But they have very high expectations for free rooms compared to other properties.
Right.
We also received an email from Dante, Josh. He said, I love hearing about your trips to the higher end places in Vegas. It's a side that I will just never get to see, and it's really cool to hear the stories and to learn what is available to people who gamble heavier than I do. My question, though, is regarding when you first started. Do you ever look back and want to be able to experience the more common sides of Vegas with that look of awe that first-time gamblers experience, or are you glad that you progressed past that? Maybe I'm just romanticizing the past, but I really wish I could go back to my first couple trips. I put this question on here for a reason because we were just talking about it.
Yes.
He said, love the show. Keep up the great work, Dante.
Well, thanks, Dante. That, as we kind of touched on earlier, absolutely, I miss that. I like the things that we get now, and it's fun.
Yes.
And I'm delighted with the way that I Vegas now, but I do miss the, not being tethered to properties and just being able to wander. And if I want to stay at some place and drink and play $5 a hand, whatever, I can do it and not worry about the consequences. Absolutely, I miss that. I'm nostalgic for it.
I've been pushing Josh pretty hard recently for him and I to have a lower level trip. I can't remember the last time I did it.
It's going to happen by force soon.
And when I say lower level, I'm not talking about us playing, dollar slots and $10 craps. In my eyes, a lower level trip is, maybe $5 to $10 video poker and $270 across on a craps table or something like that, which is far less than we typically play. But I would love to do a trip and stay at Planet Hollywood or something like that. Go do some different shows than we usually do, just spread ourselves around, not worry so much about having credit established at those places because it's not as big of a deal, and just be able to float and have some fun.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Hopefully we will.
I hope so too. Patreon, that's patreon.com/crapvegas. What do we have new over there?
Well, we had an exciting discussion about the potential changes coming down the pike in the One Big Beautiful Bill, and this is the changes for gamblers. And not a political discussion. I'm not talking about whether the bill's good or bad or how we feel, anything like that. But if the bill continues as it was passed, what the implications are for gamblers and some moves afoot to potentially get us back to where we were with our tax situation on wins and losses before the One Big Beautiful Bill. So we'll see what happens. We covered that all on the last Patreon show. It was a really good discussion and a whole bunch of other things as well that we kind of threw in at the end.
Yeah,
it was
Josh,
a lot of fun.
And he was the Ron Popeil of that episode with just one more thing he wanted to add over and over and over again.
It was the Lieutenant Columbo.
Sure, whatever you want to call it. Big thank you to those that have signed up the past 2 weeks. That's Tony E., Rob S., Simon R., Angie B. with a KCS membership. Thank you, Angie. And Bobby B. with a KCS membership. No relation from what I can tell.
Well, thanks, Bobby B. Could be Bobby Bones.
It could be. I hope
Maybe
not.
we have Bobby Bones. Why do you hope not? That would be kind of cool.
Not a big Bobby Bones fan, so I hope
I know,
it's
but
not
it would
him.
still be cool to have him as a patron.
No, he seems like a jerk.
There you go, alienating our listeners again.
Upcoming trips, Josh, I feel like you're going to be in Vegas pretty much anytime anybody goes in the next month. You want to fill anybody in on that?
Yes, you can find me in Vegas pretty much all of August. I'm going to have 9 nights over 12 days in Vegas.
It's crazy.
So it's going to be, so that's why I said I may run out of money. I literally may run out of money. So we'll see what happens. But Chris, you don't know this yet, but I decided I do have 2 rooms booked for one of the trips. So I can get some extra free play. So a certain property that shall be nameless might get. We'll see what happens. They always give free rooms.
Well,
if that's a
I know
hint.
you're talking about at least, yeah. So,
So we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. Both Venetian Palazzo and Sky Suites are involved. Star Trek convention, all that kind of stuff.
Friendly reminder, subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app and to visit our merch store. That's crapvegas.com/shop. Josh, can we just go home now? Call it a day?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
That's
Thank
it.
you
Thanks
guys
for listening, everybody.
This has been terrific. We will talk to you soon.
Got to spin the wheel. It's waiting.
Uh-oh. It is.
We've got a nicely dressed person there waiting to spin the wheel.
The Vanna White of the CV Big Wheel world.
Exactly. You ready?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
It's time to spin the Crap Vegas Big Wheel.
Do you think the wheel spin link will be different this week?
I'm going to say
you
no.
ready?
At least you're consistent.
Josh, spin the wheel.
Clunk.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, Josh, what do you got?
So I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the thing going around? It's online. It's in the newspapers and things. But the various poker rooms have made the announcement. You know what I'm talking about? That they're not going to accept chips from other properties anymore.
No, I hadn't seen that. Huh.
Yeah, kind of so it was everybody. Wynn, Venetian Palazzo, Caesars, MGM all came out within the last week and said they're not going to take chips from the other properties. I'm not going to take, chips from the other properties. And, as a kind of a way to combat money laundering, which I guess is somewhat prevalent in the poker rooms or poker.
Now, is this specific to the poker rooms or does this apply to the casinos in general?
To the poker rooms, which is interesting. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
I didn't know have you ever, I know that at lower levels, some property groups will take chips from other places.
I used to use alternate property chips all the time, but that was usually the rule was, like purples and below.
Right.
Like you couldn't take a bunch of $1,000 chips or $5,000 chips and cash them over there. But usually if you had a pocket of blacks and purples and stuff and you went over to Planet Hollywood and you had been playing somewhere else, they would cash the chips for you. Especially if it was their own property, their own chains.
Right. I'll be curious to see if it goes beyond the poker rooms. Right now, it's just the poker rooms, but it is all of them.
Huh. Interesting. No, I hadn't heard that. I'm a little surprised by that because, money's money at the end of the day, but so be it.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was really a thing, but I guess it's more common in poker. I guess if you're going from poker room to poker room and just carry your, rack of chips and.
Think about it, Josh. Would you rather carry $5,000 or would you rather carry one $5,000 chip?
Yeah, the chip for sure.
It's much easier. So,
all right, just a quick one there. Should we go with another spin?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Oh boy, Chris, it's your favorite.
What is it?
Name the convention. Guess the convention.
Oh,
guess
good.
the venue. Guess the attendance.
I was on fire last time we did.
Yeah, you've
this,
been good. This one has a long acronym, but I'll give you a hint on the first. But it's IACME. So I'll give you the first, the IA. International Association. So CME.
Yes, I could have got that.
So I shouldn't have given you the hint, is what you're saying.
I know my first major was in chemical engineering, and we were CMEs.
Interesting. It's not that.
I'm going to assume that's not that. Josh, I think you've stumped me this week. I can't think of, this could be like concrete and maintenance people.
It could be. It's going to be July 20th, 24th at Golden Nugget.
Okay, so it's a Golden Nugget. So it's
Golden
obviously not
Nugget.
a pretty big convention that's going to draw a lot of people.
All right, I've got an audio hint for you, which will
Okay.
never. We talk about alienating our younger audience with this nostalgic discussion. You will never get the audio clue, but I'm going to play it anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
If you do get it,
Is this from a show in the 70s?
Gentlemen, we're about to enter the fascinating sphere of police work, the world of forensic medicine.
do you know who that is? It doesn't have any idea. That would be Quincy M.E.
Yep, don't know who that is.
All right.
So that was supposed to help me, huh?
Yeah, because this is the International Association of Coroners and Medical Examiners.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, those people are so important in my life, Josh. They pop up all the time.
So it's, I can't remember if I said, I won't make you guess. It's about 500 coroners and medical examiners gathering.
Mhm.
They're going to take a tour as part of the convention. They're going to take a tour of the Clark County Coroner's Office.
Wow.
They're going to the Mob Museum.
Uh-huh.
And you'd be surprised. I went through and I was trying to look at the agenda, as I like to do. Most of the programming is pretty grim. Like,
Oh, Lord.
well, it is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
coroners and
Sure
medical.
it is, yeah.
But
Well,
two of the seminars that I picked out as really being the least objectionable to talk about on the show, they have deep ocean recovery from the Titan sub disaster.
Oh, nice.
They
We
have
can
a
talk
section
about
on
the goo
that.
that they found, yeah.
Right. And they have blood spatter in the spotlight, forensic lessons from celebrity crime scenes.
Okay, now, Johnny, I want you to come up on stage, and we're going to hit you with this hammer real quick, and let's see what happens from a blood spatter pattern.
Anyway, if we have any coroners or medical examiners going, let us know how it is.
Please let us know. We'd be really glad to hear from you.
That's what we got
Josh,
for
you
the
got
wheel
anything
today.
else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Anything else before we get out of here?
I do want to say, Chris, we got some feedback on the Facebook group that you didn't mention.
Wait, I missed something on the Facebook group? How is that possible?
I know. Who'd have thunk it? From Daniel, I believe, Chris. Daniel said he really appreciated my discussion of Leavenworth, Washington. And he went and really liked it and said, if we ever open up a casino there, he'll be a backer.
Oh, Jesus.
So high praise for Leavenworth. He said they did the roller coaster, had lots of fun in Leavenworth. So we've at least got one listener in Leavenworth. So Leavenworth, give us our payment.
Well, Josh, I'm going to be in your favorite place next week on vacation with my kids. I'm going to Pigeon Fjord.
Oh, Pigeon Fjord.
Yeah, as you would call it, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Commercial Town, USA. It'll be great.
I'm sure I told this joke to you before, but the
Dolly's
most famous actor in Sweden. He was in the Swedish
Harrison
version.
Fjord.
Yeah, Harrison Fjord. Yeah.
Yeah, you told that one before. Okay, Josh, before you tell any more bad jokes, we should
That's
probably
it.
get out of here. Guys,
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. We truly appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Vegas, here we come.
Thanks for listening to the Crap Vegas podcast.
Have you ever been to Vegas?
Check out all our recent news and our Vegas trip calendar by visiting crapvegas.com.
See you in Vegas.
You can join us over on our Facebook page. That's crapvegas.com/Facebook. We'd love to talk.
Oops. No,
What?
I was just giving you the signal so I could say X when it was time.
I was ready. I had it in my mind this time. Somebody also brings up the Star Wars experience at Westgate, and I couldn't skip over that for you, Josh.
Well, I appreciate that, Chris, except it's Star Trek.
What's that Star Wars?
Well, it's not. It's the Star Trek.
Fuck you,
experience.
listener. I don't know. But it said Star Wars, I'm pretty
I
sure.
believe you.
I just wrote it word for word. Do you find it strange that most Vegas properties don't have $2.50 chips when almost every regional property across the country does?
I don't know. I honestly, no.
I mean, okay. As somebody that played.
How's that for
Honestly? No. Okay, fuck you. No.
I haven't thought about it before. Perfect.
Perfect.